What is up, my adventure crew? Nick Morris here. Welcome to another episode of Real Adventures Hawaii. If it's your first time here, welcome aboard. If you're coming back, welcome back aboard. So today, our journey brings us to Ella Beach Buy and Sell. So these guys actually make the hammer bombs. I wanted to go for Mipachi. I went the other day. I was getting lots of issues, and somebody recommended the glow hammer bombs, the flash bombs. Let's go see what we can find, boys. So I'm at Ella Beach Pond. Here with Bill, the creator of the flash bomb. So he's actually going to go through and kind of give me the best way to use it from Mipachi because I'm kind of inexperienced and I want to learn how.
All right. Well, I'd like to start with is what rod are you using? So 9-foot Nitro C-Tech, the lure rating, which by the way isn't on the rod. We've kind of figured it out. It's about an ounce. An ounce is the lure rating on it. Okay. So what I'm going to recommend is if you're using like an ounce lead, that's more compact. So I'm going to recommend for what you're talking about Mipachi fishing, going with a 1.5 ounce flash bomb. And do you know what lures you're going to be using yet?
Either Campania curry tails or maybe some kind of fly or something.
Okay, well, I have some really good flies over there. I'll show you in a little bit. So basically you make your leader however you feel comfortable, the same way you're doing whipping. It doesn't have to be too long. Me personally, I like to reel my hammer bomb all the way up to the top eye, and then I measure from the top eye down to maybe the bottom eye or your hook.
Even on a 9-foot pole?
On a 9-foot pole, yeah, because it's like, it doesn't have to be too close. It doesn't have to be too far. Okay. I know some guys like 8-foot leader, but that's when you're going from spot to spot. I don't like having all that extra line I got to tend to. If I'm able to make it snug from the tip of the pole to the hook keeper or the bottom eye, that's like perfect for me. This way I can walk around with the pole and it's not flying all around hooking me. So basically what you can do is tie the hammer bomb on, tie your leader to your fly or your grub, and you cast it out to, do you know how deep the water is?
About 6 to 8 feet, I'd say.
6 to 8 feet before the reef is.
Yeah.
So Mipachi and Veil, they're rock feeders. They live in the rocks during the day, and they come out of the rocks at night. So what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to present your lure as close as you can to the rocks, which is hard when you're using lead because lead will get all the way down to the bottom and will catch every single rock and get stuck. It's the reason why flash bombs are kind of very, very popular. Number one, the flashing lights creates a predatory response in the fish. And then number two, the neutral buoyancy allows a little bit of a bounce off the rocks, which means they get hung up less. Not saying they don't get hung up. You basically just cast it out, let it sink for a little bit till it gets down to the depth that you're waiting for. And then just a slow retrieve to where it's not banging into the rocks as it's going, but just basically imagine it going right above the top. And what I like to do is I like to keep my drag kind of on the loose side. So if it doesn't, in fact, get stuck, you'll hear that little tss, where it's hung up. And it allows me to adjust, maybe move it to the other side and pop it loose before it gets really wedged in the rocks. Okay. So that'll lessen your chances of losing what is a $12 flash bomb.
Is there a certain way to store these so you get longer battery life?
We put this dot on top of it, and the dot is really, number one, it tells us that it is a flash bomb. Number two, it also tells us what quarter of the year that it was made. We change the color every 3 months. Okay. So it tells us like how long the flash bomb's been out there. And another thing too is if you stack it with the dot up, it deactivates the motion activated lights and it makes sure it doesn't go off anymore. So if you take this flash bomb and you store it with the dot up, it'll last for years. But a lot of people will just leave it however. And just murders the battery. You fart and it'll go off. Like it's very sensitive to movement. It's sensitive to vibration. As you see, I'm not even moving my hand, but it's still going off. Yeah. That's the reason why you want to make sure you stack it with the dot up, and that deactivates it. Oh. You see where it's going off? Awesome. That's a modification that we add.
That's a good tip to know.
But we guarantee them for up to 30 days. Okay. And if it goes bad in 30 days, that's on us. That means because something's wrong with it, and you keep your receipt. You go back to the store that you bought it from. They're available here at my shop, Eva Beach Buy and Sell in Eva Beach, on highfishgear.com, but they're also available on fishing tackle stores across the state.
So the weight differences are more just for preference more than anything?
Preferences. We have them in different sizes. We have them in different weights. 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. And then we have our floats, which are pretty light. 5/8 of an ounce. 5/8 and 1 5/8. Wow. Those are really, in my mind, those are for targeting a veil, which are more top feeders. Okay. Like in shallow reef where the Mipachi and the veil are. Those will work really well in the harbors, like where the veil come in shallow water, and you can see their eyes reflecting in the night. That's usually when you want to try a floating flash bomb. Okay. But a lot of the ones that they're really targeting, the Akuli, The Mimpachi, the Aveo, a lot of them like to go down lower and deeper waters. That's the reason why people want the weighted hammer bombs, so they sink down to where the fish are, and they can hit. It'll bring them in.
Okay. Perfect. So I picked up the flash bombs from Bill. I'm gonna try this out. We're gonna do some whipping tonight. So this is my tip Tuesday. Flash bombs, how to use them for Mimpachi. You'll see a Mimpachi video on Friday, if everything goes as planned. And I also got some of these flies that Bill sells. Some cool flies. Great for Mimpachi. Alright guys, tight line, safe fishing, and I'll see you guys on Friday for some Mimpachi action.